Hey everyone, welcome back to TheRandLMill. This is our podcast, The Festival Circuit. I am again joined by Reuben.
You alright, guys?
And we are back from Reading and Leeds Festival. We've only done 5 episodes this season, but it's only the first season. Next year we're going to be back, or end of this year, we're going to be back with season 2, and it's going to be a lot bigger and better, hopefully. And we are going to be doing the build-up for 2022. But let's round off this season. Now we are finished with 2021, and what a festival it was.
Oh, Adam, mate, it was incredible. So this is the season finale. This is us done for season 1 of the festival circuit, and I've really enjoyed these past few episodes, being able to go through the lineup and kind of talk about. We've done one episode on some of the other festivals, and we've just kind of focused on Reading and Leeds, looked at the lineup, and I mean we've been now. It was a couple of weeks ago, a week ago. 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
About a week ago now. Still feeling a bit rough. Still got festival flu. A lot of people seem to have come back from Reading and Leeds with. But yeah, really enjoyed my time. I don't know about you.
Oh, mate, it was ridiculously good. I mean, I obviously haven't been since 2018, so the whole idea of going to Reading was getting to the point where it was a little bit, I couldn't remember what it was like, and wow, it was so good. It all came flooding back as soon as I got into the camping grounds, and yeah, what a weekend it was. We both just counted up how many acts we saw. I mean, we saw about 25 across the weekend, and we definitely were running between stages, but yeah, it was so worth it, and looking back at it, we'd both go back in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, for sure. Obviously when you walked into the campsite, queuing up. I guess we probably should start from the top. Queuing up. I know my queuing experience was a little bit better than yours. Seeing that I was queued for about 2.5 hours. Adam, how long were you queued for?
Well, I'd say we were queuing for about 6 hours. That was keep standing and sitting as well. We got there about 11 o'clock. Basically, I pull up at White Car Park at Reading, put our campers down because everyone's just sat in this massive field, and there's one gate to get through, and for some reason about an hour and a half later they all go round this one entrance, and it was just a free-for-all to get in, and that is why I didn't get in for that long.
Yeah, so I live in Reading. Well, I've got a uni house in Reading, so me and all of my mates were there in the morning getting ready to go. Adam sends me a little text or a call, I can't remember which one it was, and you say, people, the campsite, the people opening the camp, saying it might take a little bit longer to get in. So we kind of took that information, waited around for a few more hours, so we kind of stayed at my house, and then we made the trip in, wanting to go in red, which was full, so we then had to go to green, which wasn't as bad as it was for me in 2019. I queued a lot longer then. But yeah, queuing in the green entrance, got through all the COVID checks and everything like that. Got down, sat on my tent, camp was already having a few beers, and Adam was still a few hours before me got there and was still queuing in white, so I did feel quite bad.
It was what I hit at home is when I'd send an update, and then 2 hours later, send you a photo, looks like you hadn't moved, and you just reply saying, bloody hell, you haven't even moved. Oh, it was long, and it was the hottest day as well. That Wednesday was the hottest day of the weekend as well, and I just got sunburnt on my neck and nose, and it was ridiculous. But it was all worth it once we sat down and got in, so...
I think that's everyone's take on when you're queuing up on the Wednesday, if you got early bird, and you're thinking, why am I doing this? A lot of my friends were saying, I'm never coming to Reading again, this is horrible.
Exactly, yeah.
Got there, sat at the camp, sat down, had a few cans, and life was great. We were about to have the best few days of the summer.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, as I say, we both had... Well, I mean, no one has a great start to Reading. No one swans in and sits down like it's the easiest thing in the world, especially once you've got to lug all your stuff around, whether you've been waiting for an hour or 5 hours. But anyway, we got in, it was fine, and I think we better start now getting on to the music and the highlights of our weekends.
For sure. Before we forget, we want to give a massive thank you to everyone that turned up at the co-op meetup on the Thursday, and it was mad for me and Adam. We were stood there outside co-op waiting for everyone, and we were thinking, are people actually going to turn up? Is this just going to be a massive dud? And a few minutes later, to our surprise, there was some people that showed up. So to everyone that came, showed their face and said hi, really appreciate you coming along, and hopefully next year it'll be even bigger.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not bad going, is it? Really, for a pair that has 500 subscribers on YouTube, and it's only a few thousand followers across. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, what we do is we put up Reading and Leeds news, and for people to come along and just want to chat about the festival and meet other people, it was great to see. And yeah, as I say, I really appreciate all those that came. I mean, people were filtering throughout the hour or so we were there, so it was really great to see. And yeah, just want to say a big thank you, and as well to people who I had a couple of people say hello to me across the weekend. So I just appreciate the support, to be honest with you. It's great to see that I was helping people. That was the main thing. People were saying thanks for the help across, like, sort of the information and stuff we've been given. So yeah, that was the main thing, and I was glad that we can help a few people, and it was quite surreal to see, really.
Exactly. So let's now get into the bones that people are here for. Let's talk about the acts.
So the first act we both went and saw, that I think a lot of people went and saw, it was probably one of their most popular acts they've had for like a 12 o'clock starting. That was Nothing But Thieves. They were the special guests. They played a great set, and what a way to start the festival.
Yeah, I was really excited. I think everyone, you could kind of tell the anticipation was there. It was the Friday. Some people have had 2 days in the camp. But yeah, Nothing But Thieves, they came out and they had a really, really good set. I think it was a bit, I don't want to say underwhelming, but on the Friday, I want to say that the main stage west, so the new main stage, the sound was a bit off, the mixing was a bit, it fixed itself. Of Saturday and Sunday, it was brilliant, but the Friday, so it kind of made some of the acts, like, so Nothing But Thieves and Catfish are the two stand out for me, that the sound quality just kind of wasn't up to scratch.
Yeah, they had a couple of blunders. I mean, I heard a lot of people complain about H's sound when I walked past. You couldn't really hear what was going on. And then obviously we were fairly close to Sam Fender, and at the beginning his guitar didn't work. So that caused a bit of a delay to a set starting. So yeah, I mean, it was just niggles of the first day. I mean, it's the first time they've ever had to use a second stage. So it makes sense, and they've had the year off, so I think we'll let them off.
Yeah, exactly. It was just teething issues with the new stage, and obviously, as we'll get into later, it is staying for 2022. So hopefully they've found their feet with this, and it should be fine for next year.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be interesting to see next year. Anyway, we'll leave that until the end of the episode. But yeah, so we went and saw Nothing But Thieves. As you say, there was a few teething issues with the second stage, but it was still fantastic. I don't know who you went off and saw next. I think for me it might have been Inhaler.
It was Inhaler, and my God, what a set the boys put on. It was incredible.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone over there if it wasn't for you.
Absolutely loved it. They were. I saw them the week before in Hoxton in a small gig. And my God, they put on an absolute show. People knew their songs. Everyone was having a dance about. I loved it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it was the perfect act for that sort of time, wasn't it? I mean, I think it was everyone was still buzzing about being there, and went over there, like, slid around on the side, and then, yeah, it was a great atmosphere, to my surprise, even. Obviously not knowing too much about them. And yeah, I was very happy with Inhaler and enjoyed their set.
It's just some great music. You know, Eli, Rob, Josh, Ryan, the boys, from Ireland, they absolutely stole the show for that first few hours on the Friday. For me, incredible. Like songs like "Cheer Up, Baby," and "When It Breaks" are just like proper like festival anthems. I think people will start to hear more of them in the next few years. I think they're going to be one that I tip to become quite big. This is only the start for Inhaler.
Yeah, definitely. But no, I was very happy with their set, and then I went on to, I think that was sort of secret set time, and when you saw Sports Team.
It was. Controversially, as Adam may say, I saw Sports Team over Don Broco secret set. That was just one that on the Friday coming into the festival, reading it, I think it was about 10:30 that the Broco boys put it up on their social media. And saw that they were playing that 2:30 slot, and it killed me inside because I knew that Sports Team were playing that same slot.
Yeah.
So I had to make a decision because it wasn't one you could kind of dip in and out of because it was main stage west and it was the pit, the lockup.
Yeah.
So it was other sides of the arena.
Oh,
so I just kind of had to
yeah.
put my foot down.
Yeah. Whereas I went and saw Don Broco, and it's one of those acts that I've wanted to see. I wanted to see Sports Team for Reuben, I really did, but it was one of those acts that I really wanted to see, and it was Don Broco, and I must admit I was gassed when their secret set was announced, and what a set it was. We got so close as well, because I think, with the secret set, it's not a lot. I don't think, to be honest with you, I know they're secret sets and you get told, but I bet not everyone saw it. I bet everyone who liked Don Broco probably didn't even catch it.
For sure. So, there would have been some people, yeah. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, it was fantastic. I loved it, and I was very, very happy that Don Broco were there.
Yeah, it pained me because as soon as the Sports Team set finished, which was incredible, the guys put on an absolute show, which I knew they would. Alex Rice, made that stage his own. He got on top of the speakers and was just doing all the stuff that he usually does, and it was incredible. But as soon as that set finished, I ran straight out the front and ran across the arena. I probably made myself look like a bit of a div. Was running across the arena to try and catch a bit of the Broco set. Got there as people were pouring out the lockup, and it was devastating.
So up next, I went and caught a little bit of Seagulls. I'd been really into their new song Sick, and obviously liked some of their classics, and they're one of the acts I wasn't too bothered about catching the whole set, so just wanted to go to the edge and listen to them and see what they were all about. And to be honest with you, their crowd was big, a lot bigger than I imagined, and I think they put on quite a show, and I caught a few of their good tunes and really enjoyed myself. So Friday was such a full-on day, I had to make some sacrifices to not go and get in and catch the whole sets for some, and Seagulls and Declan McKenna, we're going to talk about in a minute, were two of the sacrifices I did make. But yeah, very happy with Seagulls.
Yeah, so I after Sports Team, I dipped back to the camp, had a few more beers, and then came back in. Caught a little bit of the reels that I wanted to watch on the introducing stage, who were a really, really good band. So caught a bit of that before then walking to Declan McKenna, which again, Declan, incredible, is going to be one that's going to be really, really big one day. He's big now, but I think he's going to be even bigger. Like, he could be headline status in a few years. But yeah, I don't know what you thought of it, but I thought the set was incredible.
Yeah, it was really superb. I mean, one of those ones that I obviously getting used to those two main stages. I left Declan McKenna a little bit earlier to go try and get a decent spot for H, but kind of wish I just stayed at Declan McKenna now, which I'll explain a bit later. But yeah, really enjoyed Declan McKenna's set. Played a few of the good songs straight off the bat as well, and he had a great entrance, and yeah, definitely one to watch out for the future, and someone I'd really like to go see again.
Yeah, proper showman. And was just really good. For me, the best part of the whole set was getting the notification on my phone saying that Frank Carter, the Rattlesnakes, are playing on the lockup at 6. So that gave us an hour's warning, I think, for Frank. So I saw that and was absolutely gassed, and then the rest of the Declan set was just, I was elated for, which was really good.
So we saw that, and then I don't know if you caught H, but I went to the edge of H. The crowd was massive. I wasn't in a very good spot. Sound wasn't great, so I kind of gave up and walked off, to be honest with you.
I didn't catch any of H, but I did hear some horror stories from.
Yeah, and as you say, then I think that was our time to catch a bit of food, catch a little bit of a break, and then I went straight over, and I'm sure you did as well, to go catch a bit of Frank.
Yeah, Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes. Oh, what do I say? What do I say? They're probably my favourite band. To see them come out on such a small stage, he's done it before, but come out on such a small stage and do such a heavy set that just everyone was just. I think everyone loved it. Came out to My Town, one of the new songs.
Oh yeah, it was great, wasn't it?
Which was really, really good. And then again ended it with Go Get a Tattoo, the newest single from the album Sticky, with a guy called Lynx, who actually I saw in the arena walking to Declan McKenna. I caught him around where the fairground rides are and that. Walking into the arena, saw Lynx, and everyone was kind of walking past him, going, "Oh, what's that bloke wearing? Like, it's a bit strange." And I was like, "No, that's Lynx. That must be some sort of sign." Because then half an hour later, Frank was announced. But yeah, just what a set. It was a bit annoying because Frank's set was cut short by about 10-15 minutes, I think, just because they had some technical problems with setting him up and getting all the gear and the sound checks.
Yeah, he came out a bit late, didn't he?
Came out a bit late, and kind of he was a bit annoyed when he got told that his set was going to get cut short, because I'm assuming he probably would have wanted to end with "I Hate You," which he sadly didn't get to do. But yeah, I think everyone that I spoke to after that Frank Carter set absolutely loved it, and that's what he's all about. He's Mr. Reading and Leeds.
Yeah, it was great.
And I think he will be back next year. So
yeah, hopefully on one of those sort of sub-headline slots. I then left that a little bit early and went and caught Sam Fender, one of the acts I really wanted to sit through and watch the whole act, and what a show Sam put on. It was fantastic. As you said about Declan McKenna, he's a future headliner, no doubt. And yeah, he was absolutely incredible, and that second album is very, very eagerly awaited.
Oh, I cannot wait. But 17 Going Under, I think, could be one of his best tunes.
Yeah,
I
so
absolutely
good.
love it. And it's just one of those...
It's
Again,
a grower, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a grower for sure. But it's one of those live songs with the instrumental bit that kind of people sing along to.
Yeah.
It's such a live song, and it is so good. And Sam Fender is so good, and he will headline one day. And Sam Fender is amazing.
Yeah. After seeing him, he's one of those acts actually that I've always loved, but after seeing him, like, I love him even more.
Oh, for sure.
And then I think that kind of... I mean, I caught a little bit of AJ Tracey, but then as soon as Sam Fender was done, for me, it was kind of like headliner time.
It was headliner time. It was Catfish time.
And we'll go on then. You start with Catfish. What did you think?
I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I was disappointed. It's a shame because I absolutely love Catfish, and I've never seen them before, and I was so like eagerly awaiting watching Catfish. And they came out, and the boys just didn't seem up for it.
Apparently they sorted their shit out for Leeds, and apparently they're really good at Leeds.
That's a shame. that's a shame because we didn't get to see it. And I don't think it's about them breaking up now, because they're doing a show with Tom. Is it Tom Jones and Stereophonics or something?
It's in like December, isn't it? It's late. Yeah.
In Swansea. So I the rumours of them breaking up are kind of starting to dwindle a bit, but it seemed like they were, because the fact that the boys, I think, I can't remember what year it was, 2013 I think it might be, they were on the introducing stage, and the fact that they were headlining the festival, and they could see the introducing tent, like the stage, looking out from the... And they just didn't seem up for it.
Tell you what, as well, what's disappointing is Catfish is one of those names that are similar to Arctic Monkeys, similar to Bring Me the Horizon, the one that they always go on, right, yeah, they're coming back, you know? The ones that they always said, next time they're back, they're headlining. And they had that opportunity. They know they've been waiting for that moment.
It was the biggest show of their careers, and it didn't look like it. There was hardly any fan interaction. And there was no interaction between the band members.
They just played, didn't they?
Yeah. So it was a bit disappointing. Obviously, the crowd, for their big songs, the crowd carried it and made the atmosphere quite good, and I quite enjoyed it when songs like Pacifier, Soundcheck, and those came on. But, I don't know, it wasn't what it was all hyped up to be in my mind.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So... Funnily enough, it made it a little bit easier moving stages, and I went and made sure I left them nice and early to go get a good spot for Stormzy, because similar to Sam Fender, Stormzy was one of the acts that I was most looking forward to, if not out of the whole weekend.
Oh, yeah. And Stormzy, we could go on we could talk for ages.
We could do a whole episode on that set.
On that Stormzy
ridiculous.
Set. It was mental, and we both said it on here, and online, that Stormzy, people were kind of like, Stormzy, should he headline the festival? and we were saying, go watch that Glastonbury set.
Yeah.
The headline Glastonbury set, and he will do the exact same, if not better, for Reading. And he didn't disappoint. He delivered.
And I'll tell you what I loved of how different it was to the Glasgow set. It was completely rewritten. It was he incorporated new songs. He's been away for it's probably his first show in 2 years.
It is 2 years.
New music, new graphics, new design, obviously the nod to the rock festival roots of Reading and Leeds with the guitarist at the beginning.
Oh, the guitarist was unreal, wasn't he?
Yeah, did you watch the video about him
Yeah.
breaking it down? Yeah, it was class. Yeah. And yeah, what a set it was. Obviously brought out Dave as well. Leeds got Jack Grealish, but we got Dave. And honestly, it was one of the best moments of my life, I think.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. The set, I was singing every word to it, and I was getting some weird looks from people saying, you should be up on the stage, shouldn't be here. So calling me Stormzy, which I look nothing like Stormzy. But yeah, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and I knew he'd bring a show. And I had a friend who, he was there. He loves his Liam Gallagher. He loved Jerry Cinnamon, and he really wasn't. I was talking to him about it before, and he really wasn't looking forward to it. And I said, "Trust me, it'll be good." And he's come away and said it was his favourite set of the week and that weekend, and that shows how good he was.
Oh yeah, it was a headline performance, 100%. The way that he transitioned through the songs, kicked off with a bang, and then played some bangers, and then kind of lulled out a bit and played "Blinded by Your Grace" and some of the slower songs. He really took everyone in the crowd on a journey through that live set, which is not most acts that come for a weekend and do a set play song and song and song and song. Stormzy just kind of took us through a journey and then ended it, with Clash. And then we did Vossi Bop, and then it was incredible.
Yeah, he did it very, very well. And what way to end the Friday? And now let's go on to the Saturday.
Right, so Saturday, we move on to the Saturday. One of the best days for me personally, and I think a lot of people agree. It's just full of indie kind of rock. You had Post Malone who ended it, which was incredible. But so for me, I went in nice and early and caught I don't know how, but They Found Me, which is one of Adam's bands that he kind of found and really grew to like. Mm-hmm. And then Alfie Templeman, Thomas Hayden, and then Becky Hill, Easy Life, Larry Pink the Human, who did an secret set on the introducing stage, which was really good, and then Slow Tie. We're trying to rattle through these now, but those groups of names were unreal. Becky Hill as well as a standout for me. Saw her at Boardmasters, she was good. Saw her at Reading, loved her, absolutely loved her.
The crowd was massive as well.
Yeah, you could tell as soon as
everyone was dancing, everyone was loving it.
As soon as she came out, you could tell that she was like, my God, how many people are here, and she absolutely owned her set. And then so Kid Laroi. What do you think of Kid Laroi?
Kid Laroi was one of those ones that I kind of predicted he was going to be there, going off of the sort of similar booking to Post Malone in 2018, Billie Eilish 2019, that American act, he's Australian, but big in America and getting bigger. And I was like, you know what, I could see him at Reading and Leeds. Why not? He's there. He actually made it across with all these different acts that didn't. He made it across, and I think, bearing in mind of how old he is and first time, it's probably his first UK show or one of them.
Yeah.
I think he did really, really well.
He was really, really good. I heard a lot of people, there was rumblings from people saying he's not amazing live, don't hype it up too much and all of this. Forget what all of those people said. Live, his voice is really, really good. He puts on a show, gets people dancing. I didn't even really go fully in for this because I wanted to get out for the Wombats. So I was kind of milling around the edge, but still had a really, really good time.
Yeah, and obviously those sort of big songs that went off last year across TikTok, you wouldn't think they were just funny TikTok songs. People were seriously enjoying them, and really enjoyed him. And then, as you said, next was Wombats.
Wombats. What, if anyone that went and saw the Wombats would have loved the set that they did. They came out.
Yeah.
They've been back. It was 2019 was the last time they played, so it was they've not been long since playing it. And my God, they their new sound and kind of new songs that are coming through. So you've got the what are they
Method
called?
to the Madness.
Method to the Madness, and you've got like and if you ever come
Leave,
with
I'm
you,
coming with you.
That
Yeah.
one. Yes. What a song.
I love that song. Yeah, I love that song.
That's proper going back to the roots of Wombats. Yeah, and just the set that they put on was incredible. I'm now looking forward to it. I've got tickets to see them at the O2, and I'm absolutely gassed for it.
Yeah, I wish I caught more of Wombats, because obviously I saw the first. Luckily, they played a few bangers straight off the bat. They played, I think it was Moving to New York first, and then it was Cheetah Tongue, I think, straight off the first two. And I was happy with that, but now I want to see them more and more, and especially those new songs that are coming out. I absolutely love them. They've never really appealed back at, and then I've sort of grown and liked them, and now I love them.
Yeah, I think Wombats are just like a mainstay indie band that people just love, and then next was another one that people just love, and it was Two Door Cinema Club.
Yeah, they were fantastic, weren't they? I wasn't super close for them, but you could hear. I mean, it literally ricocheted through the arena, didn't it?
Yeah, it's Two Door. I mean, what can you say about Two Door Cinema Club? They were incredible. They just Two Door. I mean, yeah. I was a little bit not disappointed, but the set that they did and the stage and the setup and everything, the set list was like exactly the same as their 2019 tour. So it was they've basically copied and pasted what they've done, but I mean it works. People that haven't seen them before and people that kind of are just kind of getting into them maybe because of the festival, or going because of the festival, and you know, they would have loved them. And I think everyone loved them. I don't know a single person that came out of that set and didn't like it.
No, definitely. And I really enjoyed them, and I'm so glad I caught the second half over the first, because how they finished was fantastic. And obviously they're always going to finish with that song, but yeah, it was great, and very glad I went and saw them. And obviously the only experience I've ever seen of Two Door live was not seeing them live, but watching that Reading 2011 clip, and which had like the massive barrier recording and everything. So yeah, I wasn't disappointed, and I really liked it.
Yeah. And then from there, we were on to Disclosure. So we were getting into the business end of the night. The last sub-headliner, Two Door Cinema Club, into then Disclosure.
Disclosure really, really surprised me. Yeah. Really surprised me. I thought Disclosure was probably, apart from, I mean, I'd say they were one of my most least anticipated headliners, and they ended up being one of the best. They were fantastic. They were so good. My favourite of the two headliners on the Saturday, controversial I know, but I loved Disclosure. They played a really good show. Their light show was amazing. Their music was great, and yeah, very, very surprised.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm the same as you. Didn't go in. I knew they were going to put on a show and they were going to be a good headline act, but didn't expect to like them as much as I did. And now me and all my mates that went to Reading and a few more have bought tickets to see them at Ali Pali. So I mean, for them, it's worked. They've there'll be people like me that saw them and thought,
absolutely,
yeah. So I haven't really listened to much of them before. Really liked them. Let's get tickets for their tour.
And then Post Malone, who, I was disappointed. I loved it, and it's because I've got such good memories of 2018. I didn't see him in 2019, but obviously I've watched it, and to me, apart from him looking a bit different and playing a couple of new songs, it was similar to what you said about Two Door. It just seemed copied and pasted. It seems like he's done like 4 festivals in the last like month, and I think every single set's been identical. And I just think he's gone there, he's basically taken the money and run. And I have such good memories of his 2018 set. I was close and everything, and it just didn't seem as good. I don't know if that was just me because of how good that 2018 set was for me, because I love Post Malone. But yeah, it was something about it. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I see. I can get what you're saying in terms of the copy and paste, and kind of it wasn't. I've seen him now. This is the third time I've now seen him. I've seen him 2018, I've seen him 2019, and then I've seen him 2021. And it's before each. So 2018, I saw him. He had Just Stoney out. 2019, I saw him. He had Stoney and Beer Bongs out, and then this year he had all three with Hollywood's Bleeding, all three of his albums out. And 2019 was his best. The headline set at Reading was the best that I've seen of him. He was incredible then. This year was good. I really liked him. The crowd was a little bit dead for him, which kind of ruined it and took it away a little bit for me.
Yeah.
But then I can understand what you're saying. Is 2018, everyone was up for it. He was a bit like in the Kid Laroi situation where he was a new up and coming. Everyone loved.
It was just as sort of Beer Bongs came out, so it was like the Your Better Nows played and stuff like that.
You had a couple of singles from Beer Bongs out. And yeah, it was kind of off the White Iverson congratulations kind of that wave.
Yeah.
So I can understand what you're saying, but I wouldn't say it was disappointing because I really enjoyed the set.
No, and I stayed. Obviously, I did because I love Post Malone, and I would, but it would probably be quite good if he returned, but in like a couple of years. That'd probably be good. Yeah, where he's been obviously pumped out. If he has a few years break and then comes back, that would be a massive set.
Yeah, I think he's now been 3 festivals on the trot now.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of, he'll take a break. Hopefully he won't come back for a few years. He'll have an album and maybe be coming on to releasing like a 5th album when he next comes back. And headlines again, because of course he can headline again. He's Post Malone. And people love him.
He's getting massive as well. So I mean, I feel bad for not appreciating it as much because won't get loads of chance to see him because of how big he's getting. But as you say, that'll be a perfect timing for him.
Next for him, I think he'll probably release. I think he's got an album that's coming out. I think he'll headline Glastonbury. I think would probably be the next progression for him. And then we'll come back and do Reading, whether it's 2-3 years down the line.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say no to that. Of course I wouldn't. Okay, that's Saturday. Now let's go on to Sunday. So the first act I went to see on the Sunday was the Hunter, and I'd previously seen the Hunter at a very local festival. I was quite happy they were there. You know, it was quite a big booking, and then crowd wasn't massive. I don't think it was quite the right audience, but the audience at Reading for the Hunter was great. It was massive. A really big crowd for an early set, and I loved the Hunter. I think they were really, really good. And then was KSI time, and you know what? To his credit, he did all right, didn't he?
Yeah. He isn't my cup of tea, and I've said this on the podcast before, but you know what? He put on a good show. For the people that liked him, he put on a good show. He brought out some guests. He brought out the Sidemen. The Sidemen did come out for one of the songs. He did the a cappella of Lamborghini, which everyone
Oh, mate, that was loud.
Everyone loved him. But, to be honest, I was a bit annoyed at the BBC because the BBC put out a video of a clip from his set, and his voice was really auto-tuned, but being there, his voice wasn't auto-tuned. Maybe a little bit.
But he sounded great, didn't he? Like, for what he actually does, he sounded alright.
But he sounded like a robot on the BBC music thing, so he got them to take it down, and then it's been re-uploaded.
Has it?
Without the auto-tune, so...
Yeah, but no, I enjoyed him, and for what we got was decent. We both missed Tom Grennan, but I think the next act for both of us was probably Blossoms.
I saw Neck Deep and Arizona Observers, but dipped in and out for those and just kind of hung on the edge. But then, again, Tom Grennan, we missed that because in Green Camp, and I guess with a lot of camps, there was kind of a bit of anarchy. And if you've seen the vlog on the RandLMill YouTube page, you'd have seen the clip that I've got up filming of just people chucking stuff, whether it's food, bin bags, chairs, bottles of piss. The whole lot was being chucked about. So I'm seeing Tom Grennan next month in Bournemouth. So I kind of thought, stay for this, it'd be quite funny, and I get to see Tom Grennan next month. But so then after that was Blossoms.
Yeah, Blossoms I enjoyed. I don't think they're the most exciting band to see, but I think they did alright to their credit. I mean, I don't know what you thought about them. I think I had a few mixed opinions. Some people love them, some people think they're a bit boring. Don't know what you think. I think they were decent, and they were pretty much what I expected.
Absolutely loved them. Boys
Did you?
from Stockport, yeah. I just see. I was before Boardmasters. I liked their music, but I wasn't a massive fan. Boardmasters made me turn into like a big fan of theirs, and some of their new stuff, and had a look at maybe some of their older albums, and had a look at some of their music. And then Reading again was, I loved it. I can see what you when you say they're a bit boring and kind of a bit. They're not up tempo for the most part, and they don't have a massive stage presence. But they make good music.
Yeah, they do, and that's what matters sometimes,
it's good
isn't it?
indie music, and you've got songs like Your Girlfriend and Honey Sweet,
Yeah,
and then you've got Charlemagne to end it.
That is special, isn't it?
When you make a song as a musician, and you have the crowd like singing along to the instruments in your song, the riff of the song. That's like a big thing. It happens for Two Door, Charlemagne, Brazil, for Declan McKenna. Like there's a few songs that are just festival songs, and Charlemagne.
And that is one. Yeah, definitely. And obviously a late announcement, and I don't think they disappointed as MGK's replacement. I think it was a bit of a different vibe. I think that's what most people were a bit confused about, because obviously MGK and Blossoms was very different. But I wasn't complaining, and I enjoyed Blossoms, and then I caught a bit of Wolf Alice. I don't know if you did.
Yeah, Wolf Alice, absolutely loved it.
Really
Again,
good, weren't they?
Not a massive fan, don't know much of their music, which is kind of...
No.
But, stood there, listened, and they were brilliant.
I said it would be, if I knew more of their music, I bet they would be ridiculously good.
Oh yeah,
like, ridiculously good.
That's why I kind of felt, as I was walking away and going to Youngblood, I kind of felt a little bit like, if I'd known some of the more of the music, that could have been one of the best sets of the weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it is what it is. Really, really good set. And then on to Youngblood.
I really liked Youngblood, like top 5.
Oh yeah, for sure. Maybe even higher.
He was, what a show he put on, and I knew it. I said that, didn't he? I said I was so excited for Youngblood, because I know what he's like as a person, and he's a nice bloke, but he's got loads of energy, and literally that's all he brought. Like literally energy, second after second. And I absolutely love Youngblood. So I was right in the mix of it as well, and it was great. Yeah,
Youngblood, he didn't disappoint. I knew that he'd bring a show. I saw him 2019 where he played quite an early slot on the main stage. I think it was about 2:00. So it was quite an early one. And he still brought a big crowd then, and then obviously now he's gone up to sub-headliner.
What a jump as well.
And my God, what a jump it was, and he delivered.
Fleabag's a tune as well.
Fleabag, exactly. And I saw an interview that he did with Festival Republic a few hours before his set, and he was said to the interviewer saying, I don't know about Fleabag, I don't know if people are going to know it, so I'm just going to get the kind of crowd to sing along with me. It was exactly what he did. And he said in Leeds the day before, 2 days before, said that everyone knew the song. First minute, he said he was going, right, okay, so you're going to sing this bit, and the crowd knew it. So he was shocked by that. He loved it, and you could tell that he was just happy to be there.
That's what I mean. And I think he's definitely, as we said about some others, definitely a future headliner, and probably out of all of them, the first one to become that headliner, I think.
Out of all the sub-headliners over the weekend, I think Youngblood will be the next to headline. Maybe Sam Fender.
Maybe Sam Fender. I think there's something about Youngblood. I don't know whether it's the type of music or the fan base he has. That's what I think makes.
Oh, he's got a cult following.
Yeah, it is. And he was fantastic. And going on to one of the other best sub-headliners of the weekend for me was Jerry Cinnamon.
Oh, Jerry.
He was incredible, and I think the effort he put into his set, obviously, he's a bloke on a guitar, and he could literally sit there and milk it, but he puts in so much effort. He has so much like pyrotechnics. He released the balloons. He really, really put on a show for me, and that's what I loved. And I always liked Jerry Cinnamon, but that made me love Jerry Cinnamon.
Yeah, Jerry was incredible. I got in for Jerry, knowing that I'd kind of leave a little bit early, which is one of the annoying things, and one of the things that I will say about the two main stages, and we'll talk about this in a minute. You've got to make a sacrifice, which is annoying because obviously one of my most anticipated songs across the whole weekend was Disco Land, which is one that's not on Spotify. It's nowhere unless you go on YouTube.
Live only, isn't it?
It's a live song that he does. And I only got to see that kind of standing from the back as I was walking towards Biffy. So I was a bit annoyed about that, but apart from that, and apart from a bloke, I can't remember what song it was. Maybe it was Canter, maybe it was Belter. A bloke in front of me had a seizure, and I had to take him out. Didn't know who he was.
God.
Yes. So apart from that, Jerry Cinnamon's set was incredible.
Yeah, so good. And I then went and saw him exactly a week after on Sunday. Again, just amazing. I played different songs as well because he did a solo gig, so that's what I quite liked. And the atmosphere for that as well was incredible, but it makes you realise how good people were, how much people love him. And I know some of my friends stayed at that Joe's, because we were quite near the front for Joe's Cinema, and I know a lot of them stayed and didn't see Biffy because they weren't too bothered about Biffy, and waited and got right to the front for Liam Gallagher, so fair play to them. But I wanted to get out and go and have a little bit of a mooch and catch a little bit of Biffy and so on. But I know one man out of us two who did see Biffy, and that was you.
Biffy fucking Clyro. What can you say about that? For me, after that set and after they finished Machine, so their last song, that was it.
Yeah.
That my night was over. I was thinking, right, sweet, headliner, and then I was like, oh shit, right, Liam Gallagher's on, bonus.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, Biffy Clyro, probably my most anticipated headliner. I'd say,
Really? Yeah.
across the weekend. Hadn't seen them before. Really got into their music. I was a fan of Biffy before they got announced. And then as they got announced for Reading, started listening to them even more and just fell even more and more in love with them.
Yeah.
And just like I've now watched that set that's on BBC iPlayer. I've watched it 2 or 3 times now. It was incredible, and I got right to the front. Obviously, because of Liam Gallagher being there, a lot of people, it wasn't as busy as most of the headliners, which is a shame with the 2 main stages. Yeah. People sacrifice. So Biffy wasn't as busy, so I was quite easily got into the front pen, and I ended up being like 2-3 rows from the back.
It's unreal.
Which was incredible, and yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say. Again, pyrotechnics, loved it. Yeah, just they know how to put on a show. They're headliners. A lot of people were questioning whether they are headliners. You watch any of the songs from that set, you know that they're a headliner. A headliner act, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I didn't catch loads of them, but they sounded fantastic, especially for someone like you who loves all their music. Liam Gallagher as well. I think Reading doesn't do the audience that Reading's now going for. I don't think they do Liam Gallagher as much justice as he deserves, because of how, I mean, he's got a bit of an older following. He's got more of I bet the crowd was better at Leeds. I heard a little bit of disappointment about his crowd at Reading because everyone was just waiting for Wonderwall. Yeah. I still loved him. I think his first few songs were fantastic, especially Morning Glory. That was amazing. Yeah. And his entrance is his walk on was great.
Oh, that was brilliant. That was absolute. That was the most Liam Gallagher thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was.
A camera following him for about 2 minutes, walking from his dressing room to the stage.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, so I enjoyed Liam. Again, so I had to get out of Biffy, and by the time I got out of Biffy, I'd caught him just as the camera came onto him walking to the stage, and so it was great. Stayed and watched the first 4, 5, 6 songs of the set were Oasis songs. Caught them, and then as he kind of got on to his own songs, kind of stayed for a few of them, and then jumped out because I really wanted to go to see Girl in Red, that was headlining the Festival Republic stage. It was that day. So caught a bit of her, who was really, really, really good. And the tent was huge. I could barely get in. So it was overfilling the tent. So caught a bit of her, and then went back in for as the Oasis songs picked up again, and then he did the encore, and then he did a second encore because he's Liam Gallagher and will do what he wants to
do what he wants.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. Liam Gallagher.
I was going to say, it is a perfect way to end the weekend, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. Ending on Wonderwall is... I mean, he could have ended with Live Forever, before, you know, he went going off, and that could have been the end of the weekend perfect.
Yeah.
And then came back on for Wonderwall, and it was perfect.
Yeah, it was. And yeah, really perfect acts. The acts were fantastic. I think it's going to be hard to top next year. I don't know what they're going to do, but it was, for me, an ideal lineup, and I absolutely loved every second of it. And we're going to run through. I mean, it's been going on for a little while, so I don't know how many we're going to get through, but we're going to start running through some stories and opinions on this year's Reading.
Yeah. So we've asked you guys, the listeners, on the socials to help us out and tell us some of the stories that you've had from this year. And we're going to read them out now. Right, so we've been going for 50 minutes, and we could have gone for another 50, but we're gonna rattle through some of these stories that you guys have given us, and then also there's some questions here that we will answer quickly as well. So quickly rattling through. Some guy came up to me and screamed in my face, "Somehow I didn't get COVID." I mean, that is fair. If you got away from Reading and Leeds and didn't get COVID, you are lucky. Two main stages were kind of annoying. They started playing at the opposite stage too quickly. Yeah, I think that 5-minute gap, I don't know about you, Adam, was too small.
They're going to extend that, aren't they, next year? I don't know what they're going to... I don't know whether they're going to make sets, like, shorter, but they're going to have to extend that, because that was getting a bit ridiculous.
And the next one, timing for the main stages needs to be an extra 5 minutes apart as they clash the last two songs of the set. Completely agree.
Yeah. Or at least if they don't clash, you feel like you have to leave. You know,
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
You can't see the best songs. Yeah.
I think they need to make the Festival Republic pit and Lockup separate again for the. Okay, yeah, no, I get that. I don't know whether it was just for space or whether for I don't know why, but yeah,
it's a lot. The only problem with that is that it's one. You've got to fill another 2 stages of acts. It's expensive, and also there's a lot of clashes.
It is,
you know what I mean?
And I think for spacing as well, like, where would those other two tents go?
Yeah.
Do you think the 2 stages worked? I've been in total divided opinions. Adam, what do you think?
Instinct answer is that it worked. Whether I prefer it, I'm not sure. I like the idea of when I heard that next year was going to happen, I was like, you know what, fine, that's great. You get 6 headliners, you get 12 sub-headliners, you can't complain. Would I prefer Radio 1 stage? Maybe.
Yeah, I think I'm completely agreeing with you. The fact that we can have the amount of headliners on the same lineup as we did this year is mental, and we're going to have it again for next year.
Yeah.
But again, with the clashes, I'm not too sure. Radio 110 was my favourite, and still is my favourite venue to ever see artists, so hopefully it gets brought back.
It will do one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank Carter crowd surfing during the first song and creating girls only mosh pit. Yes.
That's classic Frank, isn't it? That is classic Frank.
Frank crowd surfing. I don't know if it's a little shout out for Frank. Go on to their TikTok and they've got a video of him crowd surfing during My Town, and he looks absolutely mental, but it's quality.
Yeah.
And then during Wildflowers, the girls only mosh pit. So it's classic Frank. Brilliant. Silent Disco was great, but maybe had a couple more next time. 100-minute queue was quite much.
Always is a big queue though, isn't there?
So I only went to the Silent Disco on the Sunday night because we just had a cracking time at Liam and we're thinking we don't want this to end. Let's go Silent Disco, and we were there till about 3. But queuing almost, an hour and a half, I wouldn't do that for a Silent Disco.
No, I did the exact same. Went over to one because there was one in the arena. We then turn around and say that's going to be shut by the time you get in. We then went over to one in Red, again a massive long queue, so we bunned it off and turned around.
Yeah, not ideal.
Right, so we've got seeing someone with a positive COVID test strapped to their hat.
That's not ideal.
No, that's not. That is shithousery, but you know what can you do? It's going to happen. Can I have your opinion on mosh pits, part of festivals? The main
Love it.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to get involved. I got COVID, but have a great time. Love it, mate. Leeds 2021 was amazing. The crowd's energy for Liam G and Two Door Cinema Club was 100%. I think those sort of acts are specialists for Leeds. That's one thing I must say about Leeds. You know, the Northerners love stuff like that, don't they? Don Broco, amazing act, along with loads others like the 2 main stage idea and 6 headliner. Okay, so they like the main stages, and I love Don Broco, me too. I reckon they should stick with 2 stages, but they could defo work on the scheduling. I agree, and that's basically what we've said, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Scheduling, if they get it on point, sorted.
Yeah, it would. Leroy was sick, can't lie. Yet we said the same. Didn't like having 2 main stages. This main stage is a massive debate. We're gonna have to talk about that as a whole episode next season.
Yeah.
How did the cashless payments work for you? Do you think they'll continue into next year? Yeah, they'll keep that up, I think.
Oh, 100%. It was easy. It was so much quicker than having to deal with cash.
Yeah, it was. Although, did you see it when they kept going down, the machines?
Oh, did they?
Nando's,
I never
Nando's on the
experienced
first day, I got in the queue and they were like, with cash only.
that. Do you think the 2 main stages work? I think they do. It works in terms of wanting to get the maximum amount of high quality acts. So with the 12 sub headliners and the 6 headliners, it's incredible.
And it's good that they don't. I'm glad they don't clash, because they get some good acts on there.
2 main stages so much better. Glad you think that. 2 main stages would be better if you had more time to get to other stages, say 15 minutes. Yeah. Completely agree.
Exactly what we've said. Yeah.
Security were honestly a vibe. Passed my friend water before she passed out and helped us out of a crowd when she didn't feel too good. Such a wholesome moment. My friend felt so ill, but everyone in the crowd got security to pass water all the way back. Everyone cheered when it came. Brilliant.
Yes. Security are on point.
Security are great at Reading and Leeds, always are. Why do you think Dave will perform 2022? Adam, take it away.
Tour, new album. Tour's similar to Stormzy's. Headline exclusive of Part of Life, so his next step is Reading and Glastonbury. And do you need any more reasons?
Yeah, that's it. It's the tour and the album. Dave is 2022.
And he's headlined the Radio 1. And he's headlined the Radio 110. What's the next logical step?
Exactly. Yeah. And then let's end it with the most Reading and Leeds thing I've ever seen. Can't beat a campfire with a chair. Campfire with a chair on the Sunday. The purge. It happens every year. Tents and chairs on the campfires. It's all part of the Reading and Leeds fun, isn't it?
Oh yeah, exactly. And same with the as you call it, the Reading and Leeds purge as well on that Sunday.
Yeah.
They're just absolutely classic Reading and Leeds. And what we'll do to finish off this episode is just chat about for 5 minutes or so, just our anticipation for next year. Obviously, we've already mentioned the main stages and that, so we won't have to mention that too much. But yeah, I'm you know what, I'm gonna say it. I'm glad it's returning. I'm excited to see it for another year. I'm glad you can. I'm glad we can experience it again, if you know what I mean. We can see what it's actually going to be like. Give it a proper good run. And I'm absolutely buzzing that we're going to see 6 headliners again.
Oh, for sure. 6 headliners, and you've got all those sub-headliners. And I think what we should do is quickly run through what we think next year's lineup could potentially look like. We'll have a quick little mooch at some of the potential headliners and sub-headliners. But yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah, it is. So we've got a few early shouts. Obviously, later on we're going to do proper predictions before we know that the lineup's going to come out. We're going to discuss even more acts. This isn't our set list, but as we've already mentioned it before, we think Dave's a nailed-on shout alongside Royal Blood.
For sure.
We're in 2 minds about sort of your Billie Eilish and like Travis Scott. It's going to weigh up depending on who gets who out of Reading and Leeds and Glastonbury, and obviously, I think that both of those could depend on sort of each other and where they go.
Oh, for sure. And then for the legacy acts, you've got Metallica, you've got Rage Against the Machine, you've got Gorillaz that could potentially be in there, and also one that comes around every year, but this year more so because they've got an album coming out, Arctic Monkeys. May well see them headlining, but I think they should also use some of the slot. They've got 6 headliners now. Get some females on that lineup. So whether it's a Haim, or whether it's a Billie Eilish, or whether it's a Florence and the Machine, I think we need to have at least one female headliner out of the 6.
I saw someone say about a Paramore reunion as well.
Paramore. I wouldn't be against Paramore. I love Hayley Williams and Paramore.
They're going to need to.
Oh, for sure.
A few pop acts as well muted. Dua Lipa, Lewis Capaldi. I know they're your worst nightmare, but I think a lot of them, people are saying about that, and I think it'll be a big step if they do that, because that's really saying that we're including everything in Reading and Leeds. So whether they'll do that or not, I'm not sure.
That's a big step. But and then also you need to kind of look at some of the dance acts. So you had your Disclosure this year.
Yeah.
Whether we have someone like Major Lazer or Marshmello or someone like that, it's just someone that is going to come and do that kind of the DJ set, essentially. Yeah,
exactly. And with 6 headliners, they're going to want to cross. I wonder whether that's why they'll do something like a pop act, because they want to, they've got 6 options to then put whoever kind of they want on that. And to cover even more genres than just indie, legend, legacy, and rap. So, we'll have to see what that says. And obviously, sub-headliners, you're looking at your secret sets from this year. So you've got Jake Bugg, you've got Don Broco, you've got Frank Carter.
Yeah, Frank Carter, I think, and Don Broco, really wouldn't be surprised if we see them back doing a sub-headline slot. If you've got Rage, I think you can be sure that Run the Jewels will be there if Rage are there. You've got Idols that could take the step up. Again, Haim, if Haim don't headline, they should sub-headline. Cortinas.
Sam Fender.
Yeah, Sam Fender, Rex Orange County, Machine Gun Kelly. I think he'll be nailed on to come back.
Yeah, me too. Youngblood as well, whether he gets headliner or sub-headliner.
Yeah. So there's a lot of possibilities. We're kind of chucking a few names out, and obviously this is very, very early doors.
But the more music people bring out this year, I mean, we don't know, someone could bring out an album even the end of this year and they all of a sudden become nailed on to be there. So there's so much that can change in the music world. We can get a rough idea. They've already booked 3 headliners, and I think we were saying you can pretty much put your money on that. It's being Dave, Royal Blood, and one of the legend act, whether that be Rage or someone like that. So there's a lot you could talk about, a lot you can get excited about, but I think we're going to be saving all of our juicy stuff for season 2 when we're back for the festival circuit, when we're starting in full swing of Reading and Leeds 2022, as well as talking about other lineups that come out, because although festival season's over, you guys, everyone, and me and Reuben will definitely get excited about all of the lineups now coming out.
Oh, for sure. Guys, you are not going to want to miss season 2. We've got some big things planned. And I think if you guys are already here, you're going to want to be here again for the build-up for next year. We'll be expanding. We'll be doing more than just Reading and Leeds. So, for sure, stay tuned.
Hopefully getting some guests along the way.
That would be ideal.
And also look out for the YouTube content version, because I can understand the YouTube version's a little bit boring at the moment because we don't have video, but there's a little hint for season 2 too.
Wink, wink.
Alright guys, well thank you very much for listening. Thank you so much for listening to season 1. If this keeps going, then you guys have been the original listeners. I want to thank Reuben for this first series and jumping on with me. It's made it a hell of a lot easier. And anything else you got to say as we finish up?
For sure. I've really enjoyed this. It's kind of an idea that I kind of put to Adam a few months ago, months and months ago now, and it's now come to fruition, and we're here. This is the end of season 1. It's big, and I'm really looking forward to season 2 and further where this can go, because we've got something really special here, and the guys listening, you are day ones, so congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Reading and Leeds 2021, I think that's officially putting the nail in the coffin now of that year, and now it really is time to ramp up for festival season 2022, lineups 2022, and most importantly, Reading and Leeds 2022.
Let's do this.